Without any fanfare or dramatic headlines, the moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. Something significant has happened behind the scenes, away from the typical crypto Twitter hysteria and conjecture. Ripple has formally turned on its liquidity center, and this is what's shaking the whole cryptocurrency and financial industries. The first transaction on the live mainnet was carried out in XRP rather than US dollars, euros, or Bitcoin. This is historic, not just important, a cross-border payment and liquidity network that is independent of established exchanges, unconcerned with market noise, and not waiting for regulators to catch up is fully activated. Institutions worldwide can now access the live Ripple XRP vault. It has also opened the floodgates of institutional demand and real utility. Let's take a moment to define the liquidity center. This isn't a beta sandbox or some marketing ploy. The Liquidity Hub is Ripple's comprehensive enterprise solution that enables banks, financial institutions, and enterprises to easily, legally, and effectively access cryptocurrency liquidity. Therefore, retail traders wishing to purchase tiny lots of XRP are not the target audience for this. Rather, it is intended for organizations that move tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars daily. Without ever interacting with a retail cryptocurrency exchange, the Liquidity Hub enables those institutions to connect to a single API and access digital assets like XRP as a bridge currency. To be honest, that one detail makes all the difference. Institutions will have direct, clean, and compliant access to XRP liquidity. There will be no more exchanges that are prone to manipulation or friction in the retail market. Now, why is this such a significant change? Because this is a true paradigm shift away from speculative value and toward demand driven by utility. We have entered a new era when price changes will no longer only reflect retail excitement and market psychology, but will also begin to reflect enterprise usage and transaction volume. There is automatic purchase pressure whenever a bank payment processor or fintech company sources liquidity with XRP through a liquidity hub. However, this is more than just short-term emotional purchasing in contrast to retail speculation. This is a volume-driven, systematic, and repeating activity that is truly supported by business requirements. These aren't XRP traders looking to flip for 10%. These are companies that use XRP rails to do actual business on a daily basis. Consider what's taking place here as the utility flywheel's eventual realization. In fact, Ripple has been preparing the foundation for this for more than 10 years. They started by creating the XRP ledger. The on-demand liquidity scheme was then developed. They then collaborated with authorities, had a global presence, and integrated corridors. The last component that unifies everything into a single interface is Liquidity Hub. It's more than a simple product. It truly represents the pinnacle of Ripple's objective to offer frictionless, real-time liquidity across international markets. The distinction is that institutions are no longer forced to rely on exchanges with inadequate transparency or manually navigate a number of liquidity sources. They only need to make one connection to the liquidity center in order to instantaneously access XRP at scale. This is the point at which the game truly shifts. The Liquidity Hub is intelligent. To ensure that you receive the cheapest pricing and the quickest execution, it really sources liquidity from many providers. This implies that XRP is automatically chosen if it is the most liquid and effective bridge for a certain transaction. No human input is required. Additionally, XRP will frequently be the best option due to its benefits, which include quick settlement, minimal costs, and high throughput. To put it another way, Ripple has recently developed an enterprise-grade, invisible, and automated demand engine for XRP that is currently operating in the background of international finance. Let's discuss numbers. Consider a single mid-sized bank that uses the Liquidity Hub to move 200 million per week. The buy-side pressure is 20 million if even 10% of that goes through XRP. Now multiply that over dozens of countries and hundreds of institutions. The buying is consistent and the numbers multiply quickly. The mechanism doesn't slow down even if the price of XRP starts to increase. Unlike regular dealers, these institutions do not care about price. Reliability, speed, and regulatory clarity are their main priorities. In the cryptocurrency space, XRP and Ripple have three distinct advantages. Well, we're also seeing a significant change in psychology. For years, DeFi purists have derided XRP as centralized or referred to it as the bank coin. However, its infrastructure is now the only one that is sufficiently developed to manage actual, regulated, high-volume financial transfers. In contrast, XRP is stable, quick, and compliant with regulations. While Bitcoin is too costly and slow, Ethereum is too crowded, and Solana lacks industry confidence. By using that maturity to provide institutional-grade infrastructure at scale, Liquidity Hub subtly positions XRP as the foundation of international financial infrastructure in a manner that no other asset can. Let's now discuss what this means for retail holders. The Liquidity Hub's activation radically alters what it means to be an XRP owner. Holding a speculative asset and waiting for newsworthy events or legal victories is no longer enough. You are in possession of digital oil, which powers an operational institutional-grade payment network. That completely changes the value proposition. The price of XRP will progressively represent business demand. which will only increase as more institutions go live on the liquidity hub, much like the price of oil reflects actual use. This has a secret element as well. On conventional exchange trackers, a large portion of the volume passing through the liquidity hub will not be visible. Coin market capitalization and Binance order books won't display it. This is due to the fact that this demand occurs off exchange through APIs in the background in what are frequently bilateral or over-the-counter corridors. Similar to how demand for oil can produce unexpected price spikes at the pump, a large portion of the new demand for XRP will remain undetectable until it materializes as general supply strain or liquidity shortages. The main distinction is that you won't see it until it's already happened. This implies that the price of XRP may swing more quickly and dramatically in the future. Price discovery may shift sharply upward if exchange supply dries up and institutional demand takes over. Keep in mind that there is a fixed supply of XRP mining and the creation of fresh XRP are not possible. As institutional buying increases, the supply-demand imbalance widens, but price movement always corrects it. Significant digital integrations are also made possible via the liquidity hub. We may see this infrastructure integrated into supply chain finance tools, ERP systems, and fintech platforms after it has been validated and scaled. Consider SEP or Salesforce connecting to the liquidity center to provide XRP-based real-time international invoicing. Imagine Square or Stripe allowing small firms to use RippleNet to settle international payments. Massive network effects may result, and if these systems are integrated into corporate infrastructure, they become a permanent component of the internet's financial plumbing rather being ephemeral like trends. Not to be overlooked is the geopolitical perspective. Liquidity hubs may become the norm as a result of U.S. regulators gradually warming to the idea, with nations like the UAE, Singapore, and Japan already adopting XRP infrastructure. XRP is the neutral bridge asset that isn't governed by any one government in a world where stablecoins and CBDCs are becoming more and more popular. Because of this, it is especially well suited for cross-border settlement between fiat systems that lack mutual confidence. Liquidity Hub has recently emerged as the global corridor that everyone has been anticipating. What does this leave us with, then? A financial infrastructure that may eventually compete is being quietly introduced at a rapid pace. And Ripple has developed it, deployed it, and is already quietly onboarding institutions without requesting permission. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.